Welcome everyone to Power of Knowing and this pivotal session on women as wealth co-creators. Thank you, Prem Kumar of Power of Knowing Forum, our host, and welcome to our speakers, Sunil Kumar, Rajiv, Bajaj, and Thomas Welsh, founder of Regenesis. I'm Angela Ery, CEO of Regenesis, and today we're moving beyond theory into practical application to talk about how do we co-architect a future of true wealth, one that is sustainable, inclusive, and truly beneficial for all. At Regenesis, we're clear that sustainable wealth is not just about financial capital, but about the holistic well-being of organisations, societies, and the planet. This requires a shift from competition to co-creation and from fragmentation to integration. Today, we discuss how integrating both feminine and masculine intelligence at every level of decision-making and governance creates economic resilience, business sustainability, and societal prosperity. We're going to explore three fundamental systemic shifts required for balanced, integrated leadership worldwide. One, a move from hierarchical and siloed decision-making to go networked, inclusive collaboration. Two, a shift from wealth accumulation to the few to wealth creation for the benefit of all. And three, redefinition of success beyond profit, incorporating well-being, longevity, and societal contribution. With that introduction, let me welcome our first speaker, Thomas Welsh, who will share how Regenesis is helping organisations to rise to their highest levels of effectiveness, performance, and health. Over to you, Thomas.
Thank you, Angela. Hello, everybody. And I guess what I'm here to talk about is Regenesis and the future of organizational health, as Angela's introduced here. Regenesis, as you may know if you've attended a talk before, is a structured organization-wide effort managed from the top that enhances long-term effectiveness and health through behavioral science interventions. And I would draw a line between what we do and we offer to you to use yourselves as different from a lot that goes on in the world. We tend to think only short-term costs, short-term gains, and short-term plans. And what I mean by short-term is probably, in a good organization, 3 to 5 years. In many organizations, it's a year or less. In some, it's as little as a month. Now, what we're talking about here, when you're talking about long-term health, although you can't plan for it, you do need to think about where you're going in your 50-year aspiration. And that ultimately is part of where Regenesis will take the thinking of the managers and leaders of any organizations we work with. This approach enables organizations to truly head to become all they're capable of being in productivity, in profitability, in employee well-being, in environmental sustainability, and importantly, which is why we're all ultimately here, in societal contribution. If we're not contributing to the people and the world around us, then ultimately that's short-term thinking, because obviously it's self-limiting. If we destroy our society, if we destroy our economy, and we consume our environment to the point that there's nothing left or it's damaged, where it's going to take centuries or even thousands of years to recover, then that's very short-termist thinking and is bound to lead to hardship and poverty for millions or billions of people. So that is not a good rationale. And so what we offer in Regenesis is something much more integrated. And the subject, obviously, of these particular sessions is all about how we integrate feminine and masculine thinking and intelligences so that we run our companies, that we develop and grow, because Regenesis is the growth engine, how we develop and grow your organization for the long term so that it can become all that it's capable of being. Now, there's some fantastic research done here about integrating different types of intelligences. You might think, well, why should we do this? We're doing okay as we are. But actually, the research says no. McKinsey and Company, I guess the top consultancy company in the world, in 2020 found that companies in the top quartile for gender diversity were 25% more likely to have above average profitability. That's a lot. That's a lot more than the average. Harvard Business Review, again, one of the world's top universities, found and reported in 2009 that firms with diverse leadership, masculine and feminine leadership integrated, were 1.7 times more likely to be innovation leaders in their sector. So just having a much more balanced feminine and masculine intelligence brings that, and it's a major change. And the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, in 2022, so bang up to date here, concluded that just gender diverse boards contribute to greater financial stability and long-term resilience. And look, there it is again, long-term. So the key takeaway here is organizations that leverage both feminine and masculine intelligence create systems that are more adaptable, more innovative, and more economically sustainable. They grow better and they grow ultimately to their right maximum size. The majority of organizations stay shrunk to their minimum viable operating size. There's a massive, massive difference between the two. So let's explore this a bit more deeply. And now let's hear from Rajiv, who will discuss what needs to happen in larger organizations and boards to drive integration at scale. It's the fact that they're larger organizations, they have more impact, but nonetheless, they may still have hidden growth potential that they're not really teasing out. So, Rajiv, over to you. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Thomas. I think this is a very interesting topic, and we have been talking about a series of these discussions over the last, I think, 3 weeks. So basically, what drives the systematic change in large organizations? We are going to discuss that. And as you know, in large organization, governance structures often reflect historical male-dominated paradigms that prioritize control and risk minimization over innovation and sustainability, because sometimes the dominance part of it overtakes all other initiatives within the organization, and that often creates imbalance which can limit the long-term performance. So various initiatives have been taken even by the government, by regulatory authorities, as I mentioned in the last discussion also. In India, Securities and Exchange Board of India has made it mandatory for the companies to have a woman director, and they are trying to make a fine balance in the boards also, and also the top managements now understand fully that it is very important to have a proper gender balance within the organization. And that is where the various solutions have been thought about and have been discussed. So one is, of course, to have a integrated decision making. Studies have shown that gender balanced executive teams led to 20% higher uh, decision making quality. This was a study done by Clover Pop in 2021. And I have personally also seen in many organizations, wherever in the decision making process we have females participating and people from the other gender are participating, the quality of the decision making improves, and there is definitely a sense of more balance about this decisions. And you can always understand this from the uh, the voice which flows from the top. And that is where I think all organizations have now realized that it is important to have a balanced executive team. The other important aspect is the holistic governance model, which, of course, countries with higher level of gender parity in government, such as we have seen Nordic nations, demonstrate a stronger economic resilience and social well-being. And this is a study which is shared by World Economic Forum in 2023. And in India also, we have certain northeastern states where we find that the other fairer sex has a more powerful role to play in the uh, overall cultural economy of that region. And that is where we have seen, the growth potential and the way things are moving in those region, and the overall improvement in the uh, thought process and well-being of people is improving. So this is not only applies to the governance models, but also applies to the society in general, that if you have a balanced approach in the society, then definitely things are always on the more balanced approach is always there. The third important thing is the performance driven diversity. Fortune 500 firms with at least 30% female board representation see a 15% increase in profitability. And this was again a report by Credit Suisse in 2022. So we have seen many such reports being done by various agencies, and the voice coming from all of them is one, that there is a much need for having a balance and gender diversity in the decision making and managing the performance of the various companies. So the key takeaways are to ensure better performance, sustainability, and resilience in the organizations. This must be embedded, that a gender balanced governance as a strategic necessity uh, is considered by the organization, and this should not be as a token initiative or only a lip service. You should actually try and imbibe this into your system and try and actually implement it in toto. Only then things will improve. So the organizations which are still in two minds whether to implement this or not, they always face a lot of dilemma, and a lot of loose decisions are taken. But the organizations which have really implemented this, and they have seen lots of growth, and definitely things are improving there. So with that, I'll hand over to Sunil, who will be highlighting how MSMEs and startups can implement these changes from the ground up. So Sunil, over to you.
Thank you, Rajiv. Thank you. I think we are discussing very important topic here, and I will start with a quote from one of the important greatest son of India, Swami Vivekananda. So he has quoted, "There is no chance for the welfare of the world unless the condition of women is improved. It is not possible for a bird to fly on only one wing. Therefore, the inclusion of women empowerment is very important. In India, the government of India has understood the women power, and they are taking lot of steps to empower the women and include the women in leadership role. And there is a visible changes in Indian industry, particularly in a startup and MSME. In a startup, around 32% women are in the managerial position against 21% in corporate. And this ratio was, I think this ratio has doubled in last 5 years. So that is a visible change here. In CXO position, if we have to consider, then there are 18% in a startup in CXO position against 5% in corporate. So still lot of things need to be taken in corporate, in bigger organization. But as far as the startup and MSME is concerned, that trend has started. As we all know that MSME is a basically global economic growth driver, and they contributes 30% of India's GDP and 45% of manufacturing output. So this sector has to understand the women power, and government has taken a lot of initiative. Government has started giving loans to bank. They have directed to the nationalized bank that you have to go give loan to women founder, women MSME directors at the cheaper rate, and they have to give priority to them. They are having certain fixed percentage that you have to give this much loan to the women founders and women directors. So those steps has started showing the results. And if you will see in a bigger picture, then I will say that all those the talents what exists in the women, so that is coming in the board, that is coming, that is getting utilized. So there is one Uddam Sakhi Yojana that is very, very popular in India, and this is again the government initiative. And I'm proud to share here that there is a one yojana of government, one program of the government that is called Prime Minister Employment Generation Program. And I'm pleased to say under this program, the 30% of the project is run by women. And if we have see the number of projects, so that is in the tune of 1.38 lakhs project that has been set up by the women entrepreneurs under this PMEGP plan. So these figures are very, very encouraging, and we can say in nutshell that government is basically focusing on that, and the results are coming here. So startups and MSME, as we all know, the critical to global economic growth, and they face the highest failure rates, and the reason of those failures are lack of diverse intelligence in a strategic decision making. So that has been well taken by those organization and those ecosystem. And the way the things are improving, the way the participation of women is improving, we are hopeful that the intelligence, the strategic power, the women knowledge, that will get utilized in better way, and that will give the fruitful result. The opportunities are the startup with at least one female founder raise 30% more capital and generate 63% higher return than male only teams. That is the report of VCG. The female-led businesses in developing economies, particularly in developing economies, have higher reinvestment rates into their communities, leading to more sustainable local economies. So these opportunities, these steps are basically visible. The blended leadership teams improve problem solving agility and workforce retention, and that is up to 35%. This is the data of a Stanford Business Review. So if we have to see the complete picture here, then the key takeaway is by integrating both feminine and masculine intelligence from the outset, MSMEs and the startup can achieve higher success rate, faster scaling, and long-term impact. And that will basically great addition, great contribution from the women power. And those, as I have told you, the government of India has also understood. So there is a program called Transforming Homemaker to Entrepreneur that has become very, very popular. And I will say the first important step here is awareness, creating those awareness and making the male dominated corporate realize that talent is here with you. We have to utilize those talent. You have to involve those talent in brainstorming, in getting those ideas, and in the implementation. If you are not doing that, then basically you are ignoring those talents which is already exist within your system. But leadership has realized that, and I have come across and I have met a lot of founders, and I understood that the step are being taken by founders, by directors, and those are showing the results. Over to you, Angela.
Thank you. Just to sum up then, as Thomas said, organisations that leverage both masculine and feminine intelligence create systems that are more adaptable, innovative, and economically sustainable. And our mission at Regenesis is to grow true wealth by embracing and including the whole spectrum of creativity from both women and men. Our model integrates ambition and empathy, competition and collaboration, and distribution and sustainability. And as Rajiv and Sunil highlighted, to ensure better performance, sustainability and resilience, organisations must embed gender balanced governance as a strategic necessity, not just a token initiative. So structural and cultural barriers persist. And leaders must continue to actively drive this change, not just as a moral imperative, but as a business necessity. The research is interesting, and as it consistently shows, the companies that have balanced gender representation in leadership outperform those that do not. And absolutely, it's important that leadership must actively promote gender inclusive policies and lead by example. Larger organisations can lead the way by encouraging male allies to support gender equality in the workplace. So in terms of the bigger picture, what we've heard today makes one thing clear. True wealth is created when organisations, economies and societies embrace integrated intelligence. For business, greater profitability, resilience and stakeholder trust. For governments and policymakers, enhanced economic stability and sustainability and social equality. And for individuals and communities, higher quality of life and increased innovation and a more equitable future. So true wealth in society is built when women and men work together, leveraging their diverse perspectives and strengths. Whether in business, technology, sustainability or policy, gender-balanced teams drive greater creativity, innovation and economic progress for us all. We know that women bring unique creative qualities to the workplace that enhance problem solving, innovation and collaboration. And of course, these qualities are not exclusive to women, but as we've seen, the research shows that gender diverse teams benefit from the different perspective, experience and leadership styles that women bring. So companies that leverage these strengths create more inclusive, sustainable and customer-driven solutions, and they're leading to stronger performance and market relevance. And just as women bring unique creative qualities to the workplace, men also contribute distinct strengths, and that enhances innovation, problem solving and business growth. And whilst these qualities are not exclusive to men, the research suggests that they are often found in male leadership and work styles. So when we think of the future, our vision for the future, just imagine a world where organisations don't just chase short-term profits, but build sustainable prosperity for all stakeholders, employees, customers, communities, and future generations. We're envisaging a world where wealth isn't concentrated, but multiplied, and where leadership reflects the full spectrum of human intelligence. We know the most successful societies and organisations are those that embrace the full spectrum of creativity from both men and women. And true wealth is built when ambition meets empathy, competition, and meets collaboration, and disruption meets sustainability. The evidence is overwhelming. The need for action is urgent, and the time to integrate and co-create is now. 3 irresistible must-have gains from the shift are: 1, guaranteed economic growth. Balanced leadership leads to up to 30% higher revenue and faster scaling. 2, superior decision-making and innovation. Companies with diverse teams are 35% more likely to outperform their competitors. And 3, long-term sustainability and resilience. Integrated governance ensures business longevity and reduced systemic risks. So just to summarise again and to bring this to a close, if you are a leader, an entrepreneur or a policymaker, It's time to take action. Let's all commit to building workplaces where both men and women creativity thrives for the benefit of everyone. We're interested to hear from you too. What are your thoughts? How can we foster an innovation by leveraging the strengths of all genders? Let's talk more about this. Join us in making this transformation a reality. We'd really invite you to contact with us, implementing these principles, and let's go architect a future of wealth together. So thank you for listening, and until next week, have a good week.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.